Hi guys, so I found a tag on YouTube. I think it's from last fall. Is that considered to be an old tag? I don't know. But it's by a YouTuber called Minimalist Baby, and I'm gonna tag or link her channel below. And it's nine tips about being frugal, and I'd like to think that I'm fairly frugal. And I thought it was such a nice and different tag. So let's just get started, I guess. So number one, and I'm looking below because that's where the questions are. So number one is, what does frugality mean to you? To me, it means that, you basically don't waste things. That you reuse things as best you can. You don't spend a lot of money unless it's a quality item, and that you just, don't throw money at everything, I guess. Number two, why are you frugal? I think I'm frugal just partially out of necessity. Because I don't have my old income anymore. I don't work outside the home. My son's diagnosis of autism basically stopped that ability because I can't get childcare. So although my kids are in school, I can't get childcare for those few hours after school to be able to afford childcare for, I should clarify actually. So, but I think I've kind of always been fairly frugal, even when I did have my former salary. When I did work outside the home, I made decent money, but I still just didn't like spending, like overspending on things. It just, it wasn't something I was brought up with. So number three, do you think you'll live frugally your whole life, or is it a means to an end? I think I'll pretty much live frugally my entire life. Even like, how you have those discussions with your friends of, well, what would you do if you won $1 million? And I would, I don't think that I would change much. I mean, there are some improvements in my house that I'd like to make, like a new roof would be great. But I think overall, I really wouldn't change much. Now, if somebody wanted to give me $1 million to test that theory, I'm okay with that. So number four, what area of your life are you most proud of cutting back most since starting this lifestyle? I don't know if there's really anything in particular. I mean, this is going to sound strange, but I do get great joy. Sounds strange. About, having a rain barrel set up, and especially being able to put the laundry out on my clothesline. I look forward to that every year when it finally gets warm enough in the spring for me to be able to stop using my dryer and to actually hang the clothing up on the line. So, I don't know, does that represent pride in it? Not sure, but it definitely makes me happy that it's just kind of, it's no longer minus 20 out. Now it's like 15 degrees above, so I can put the laundry out. So I don't know, we'll go with that one. So number five, what area of your life still needs improvement with regards to your spending? I think for me, it's more about keeping track of my spending. I'll admit this. I don't have a written budget. I know how much, and I think a lot of it is because it's just me, right? Like, I don't have to share my money or my information with anybody. But what is fantastic is that my boyfriend and I actually talk openly about money, which is great because I never had that in my marriage. Because ironically, all financial discussions between my then husband and I also included his sister. So it was awkward. So I'm very thankful that my boyfriend and I actually have this very open discussion, or open line of communication about finances. I do need to get better in that, I need to create my budget, make sure that it's not just in my brain, right? That it's actually written down so I can see it visually. And I think maybe now that I'm saying it out loud, it's probably actually more important that I do that because it is just me. Anyway, that's weird that the reason that it's more important is because it's just me, but the reason that I haven't done it is because it's just me. Okay, that's strange. Anyway, moving on to number 6. What is the most crazy way you save or have saved money? I don't know if it's crazy per se, but I do have, I don't even know what it's called, but something set up in my account where for every time I use my debit card, 50 cents goes into a savings plan. And I didn't think it would do much, but it actually does help me save quite a bit of money. Like, you know, at the end of this month, there's a change in some of the funding that is received by parents from the federal government. Yeah, I think it's federally given. And I honestly am expecting it to just be completely screwed up and to not, you know, not go through properly and all this kind of stuff. Because that tends to be what happens in my world when it comes to different funding sources through government agencies. And but this is one that the federal government is claiming is going to improve the lives of those that, you know, are under, basically that if you don't have 2 incomes in your household, right? And so I'm fully expecting this to totally mess up. But I'm not overly worried about it because I have enough in that savings account now as a just in case. So I can still pay my rent. I can still pay some of my bills. You know, we'll still be fed for the month until it gets all unmessed up. So it's nice to have that little bit of a cushion that basically has just been there because it's 50 cents per debit that I've been doing for a few years now. So I don't know if that's crazy or logical or what, but I like that it's there. And then my theory is, if everything messes up and I have to dip into that savings, then when it gets all unmessed up, then I can just replace that money with the retroactive. So it kind of works in my world. Number 7, have you ever been called tight in a negative way? No? Pretty simple. Number 8, what tips would you give someone starting out with an overspending habit? I would actually suggest, really depends on where they're spending, but I would actually suggest them either reading books or watching YouTube or watching TV. I love, and she's Canadian, I love Gail Van Oxlade. She has had a few shows actually, Till Debt Do Us Part. There's Money Moron, and there's also Princess. She had 3 shows on, I think it's TLC, I think. If not, I'm sorry. But she's fantastic and just really down to earth and is quite the wake-up call that people need. And I mean, there's some stuff where she's like, oh, well, you have to go and earn an extra $1,500 a month for me to make your budget balance. Well, the reality is, if she came to me and told me that, I would be like, that's nice, I can't. You have to work with what I've got. So I would suggest that people start listening and reading this kind of stuff, and also leave your credit cards at home. I only use my credit cards in case of emergency. For example, when I had my car, she just went to the scrapper. I ended up last year, I think it was, with like a $900 bill that I had not saved up for. And I'm working on having those kind of emergency cash flow. But so I had to put that on credit card. But then I just took a few months to pay it off and done. But at least it was there. So that's how I would tell them to leave their credit cards at home and to start watching those like YouTube videos. I'll include some YouTubers that I watch regularly down below. I'm sure you've heard of them, but in case you haven't, I'll leave them down there. Number 9, who are your inspirations for living this lifestyle? I think honestly, it's my parents. You know, I grew up in a frugal, I grew up in a frugal home, and even though, you know, we didn't need to, which I know sounds weird, but it's true. My parents taught me the value of a dollar, and they lived it, and they, you know, basically we learned it as well. Like, it just, that's the way it is. My parents are self-employed. They have earned every single dollar that they have, and they, you know, it's just who we are. We're frugal, but we spend money just on, you know, things that deserve to have money spent on it, I guess. I mean, I think the only thing that I kind of splurge on is Starbucks, but I'll get maybe one every 2 weeks, and otherwise I have the syrup at home. So I still get to have more Starbucks, but I don't actually go into the store, and I stay away from the store. And I'm actually really glad that there is not a store anywhere near me. Like, I have to walk to the closest store. I think I think it's about a 40-minute walk from here. So, you know, it's purposeful to have to go there. But I think really that the inspirations for the frugal lifestyle is my parents. And I mean, the last few years has been more out of necessity, primarily since I stopped working outside the home. But you know, we're comfortable. We have what we need, and we don't have what we don't need. So it's pretty simple that way. So if you enjoyed this, then be sure to subscribe down below. And don't forget as well, if you wanted to do this tag, I'm tagging all of you. I'd love to hear what your responses are as well. And yeah. I think it's a neat and a different tag, and it's not one that's just for, you know, school, which seems to be a lot of the tags. So we'll talk to you guys later. Bye.